know that this new film, Coda, was going to be a hit when you first read the script?
Honestly, Carlos, I knew it from the first day.
When you and I go sing karaoke one day, what will you sing?
At the Copacabana.
The hottest place north of Havana.
I'm a really good singer, as you can tell.
Hey family, bienvenidos. It's Carlos Watson. Welcome to another episode of the show. Coming up, one of the biggest stars on the planet, Eugenio Derbez. They call him the Adam Sandler of Mexico. All kinds of funny. You're really going to enjoy him. Also, our latest Real Talk, Real Change special on America's education system. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Did this in collaboration with our friends at Chevrolet. More on that in just a bit. But first, I'm going to sit down, as I said, with one of the biggest stars on the planet. In Mexico, Eugenio Derbez is about as big as they come. Over 16 million followers on Instagram, another 23 million followers on Facebook, and of course, even as a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. You're going to love my man, my new friend, Eugenio Derbez. Eugenio.
Carlos!
How are you?
Fine. Hello, my friend.
Where are you today?
I'm in LA. Not right now. I'm in my house.
And how do you like LA?
I love it. Honestly, it's perfect. We have a lot of Latinos here, so I don't feel alone. I'm friends with the valet parkings, cooks, gardeners. Everyone speaks Spanish here, so I feel like I'm home.
Do you get to go back home very much, or do you really feel like you're now in a new place and you don't get back, very often?
I was born and raised in Mexico City.
Right.
I did my entire career there. Imagine Adam Sandler one day saying, guys, I'm going to China because there's a lot of people there and I want to conquer that market. So I'm leaving and I'm going to start acting in Chinese. It's a joke. It's a joke. Your father's bad.
Okay.
Since I was a kid, I was always with my mom watching the Oscars every single year, and of course going to the movie theaters to watch all these Hollywood movies, and I fell in love with cinema. I remember we were watching the Oscars and I was like, Mom, I want to do that. And my mom was like, okay, I got it, but it's really hard. So when I was like a teenager, I started preparing to be an actor and to come to Hollywood. But then, life changed my dreams, and I ended up working in Mexico. I became a dad.
Oye, papá. ¿De dónde vienen los Derbez?
¿De dónde vienen? ¿De dónde vienen los Derbez?
And I forgot about my dreams. My mom passed away when I was 42, and next week after she passed away, I received a call from an agent. He was interested in talk to me about coming to the US and do a crossover. I think it was my mom. To move all these things from up there. And I did small things here and there. I did a movie with Adam Sandler called Jack and Jill.
What is this thing? No. It's too hot. Just like you.
I did a TV series with Rob Schneider called Rob on CBS.
You would not believe the terrible day I'm having.
Not now, Hector. I'm busy.
I know.
That's
Listen.
my baby.
I don't know.
I did a Broadway play, and after seeing that nothing happened, I went back to Mexico and I directed a movie called Instruction Not Included that changed my entire world.
Valentin Bravo loved being a bachelor until he met the one girl he couldn't resist.
Valentin,
¿Sí?
es tu hija.
¿Qué?
It was a movie that was made in Mexico, written in Mexico, shot in Mexico, and all of a sudden that movie opened the doors finally of Hollywood.
Que no pongas cara de miedo, Pablo. Vamos a tener que hacer otra vez.
It was a Friday when it opened, and by Monday, I received a call from Jimmy Fallon, Larry King, my agents. Everyone was like, your movie did amazing. It broke all the records. So I had to make a decision, and I said, let's do it.
When you came to LA, I assume it was more anonymous. It was more quiet. Were you okay with that difference, or did that disturb your soul a little bit?
It disturbed my soul a little bit, honestly, but that was good because I felt I grew up a lot, because I can't walk around in my country because people is always they recognize me, they know who I am. I arrived to the US, to Los Angeles, just by myself with my piece of luggage, and nobody cared. And I went to to these meetings with producers, and I was like, yeah, who are you? I was like, Eugenio Derbez. Can you spell it for me? I don't know how to write that. Okay, I spelled my name. Nobody knew my name. Nobody knew my face. Anyway, it was funny because I was living between these two worlds, and I realized that I'm basically a human being as anybody else. It's just that I'm famous in one part and not in the other one. But it was shocking.
It's still the night shift, just brighter. Still a night out, but everything fits in. Chevrolet, making life's journey just better.
Hey, Eugenio, did you know that this new film, Coda, was going to be a hit when you first read the script?
Honestly, Carlos, I knew it from the first day because...
Honestly.
Honestly, I knew that it was going to be an amazing film.
There are plenty of pretty voices with nothing to say. Do you have something to say?
I didn't know it was going to win awards. It's the first time in the Sundance Film Festival history that a film wins all these awards all together.
And what is so special about this film?
I think nobody has talked about this, about a deaf family.
You're the girl with the deaf family?
Yeah.
I just want to tell you right now.
And you sing. Interesting.
About how they struggle to succeed in this world.
I've been coaching for Berklee College of Music. I can help you get a scholarship.
And Coda stands for Child of Deaf Adults. And this girl, this is the story of a 17-year-old teenager that it's the only hearing child in a deaf family. And she's the only link with the hearing world. And one day she needs to decide between following her dreams and pursuing her dreams or staying forever with her family.
I can't stay with you for the rest of my life.
And so it's very interesting. It's very touching. It's completely different, but I love it.
I want to do this.
Hey, Eugenio, what was your mom like? Because she was an actress as well, right? You come from a family of talented artists.
My mom was the soap opera queen, the queen of telenovelas in Mexico and Latin America. She made the first soap opera in Latin America. There was also a legend that said that my mom was able to cry with right eye or left eye, depending where the camera was.
It's nice.
That's why I'm an actor. I'm an actor because my mom was a soap opera actress. And I, Carlos, I was extremely shy. Extremely. You can't imagine. I was this kind of kid that was always in a corner, just observing, not talking. So when my mom knew and learned that I wanted to become a comedian, she was like, how come? You're like a mouse in a corner. She was really surprised by the fact that I was able to do comedy and perform characters and everything.
So how did you make it? Did you have a breakthrough moment, or how did you break through?
First of all, I was trying to be a serious, a dramatic actor. I never thought about being a comedian ever. And I tried to be a telenovela actor as my mom. But for many, many years, I tried and nothing happened. It was until I was 27 years old when they offered me a small part in a comedy. And I felt like a fish in the water. So I was like, what is this? And everyone like, oh, you're good. And I discovered that I was able to make people laugh.
What was it like for you when you finally became recognized on the street, a household name? People were truly excited about you. You were getting the good roles.
That day, I started seeing results, people looking for me. They invited me more to comedy shows. Probably 5 years later, they started to learning my name. So it was little by little, but it was a certain way familiar to me because because of my mom.
How is Mexico doing today?
if you watch the news, they talk, of course, about, crime, violence, drugs, the narco, but Mexico is more than that, way more than that. Mexico is a beautiful country. The best beaches in the world are in Mexico. The food is amazing. It's so natural. You can feel it when you're trying any Mexican food. So it's not as bad as you see in the news.
I started going to Mexico City somewhat regularly a few years ago. I was taken by how creative it felt, how cutting edge it felt, how stylish it felt in many cases.
Absolutely. And we are very creative, as you just said, because we wouldn't have the same economy as the US. So we have to, I always say that when we're talking about movies, they tell me why Mexican cinematographers are good, like Alfonso Cuarón or like Iñárritu, Guillermo del Toro, and many more. And it's because we don't have those big budgets, and you have to get creative. When you don't have money to produce a film, you have to get creative. And that's what happens with all Mexicans.
If you could chart the next decade in the way that would bring you joy and bring you happiness, what would you love to be true over the next 10 years for yourself?
I'm known for being a comedian.
Yeah.
And I've always made people laugh. But lately, I've discovered that I want to start making more films like Coda. I feel that if you watch those films, something changed in your inside. And that's the kind of things that I want to do from now on. You will never see a comedy winning an Oscar. You will never see a comedy that is respected. So you will never be recognized as a good actor if you're doing comedy. I think that's why all comedians change in certain point to drama, because you feel more recognized.
It's still the night shift, just brighter. Still a night out, but everything fits in. Chevrolet, making life's journey just better.
Hey, Eugenio, can I finish up here by doing a little rapid fire with you?
Yeah. Sorry about my English, but I'll do my best.
I love it. Eugenio, what is the most beautiful place in the world you've ever been?
Tulum, Mexico, and Glacier National Park in Montana.
If you could meet and have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would you love to have dinner with?
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I like that.
I was born Catholic. I'm not a religion person anymore. So that's why I would like to talk to him without the church in the middle.
Eugenio, what's the most interesting thing you've learned about parenting in this life?
There's not a single school that teach you how to be a parent. And this is the most important thing in the world. So there should be schools for parents. That's what I would say about parenting.
I love that and agree. Finally, what's your karaoke song? Eugenio, when you and I go sing karaoke one day, what will you sing?
Oh my God. My entire family makes fun of me because I love Barry Manilow. Copacabana.
All right, wait, let me hear a little bit of it.
Copacabana.
There was blood and a single gunshot, but just who shot who at the Copacabana?
The hottest place north of
Havana. Here at the
Copacabana. I'm a good singer, as you can tell.
Hey, Eugenio, I so appreciate you, my friend. And my best friend's mother loves you, is a big fan of yours, Angelina Segura. If you would say hello to her, I would appreciate that.
My dear Angelina Segura, te mando un beso. Qué bueno que eres mi fan. And I'm going to tell you something else. Angelina, ¿por qué no eres una niña normal? ¿Por qué no eres una niña normal? Besos, Angelina.
Eugenio, I so enjoyed you, and I hope one of these days, my friend, I can come and say hello to you properly. I would love to shake your hand and say hello to you in person.
Me too, Carlos, me too. Hopefully one day we can meet in person finally.
I look forward to that. Be safe, and congratulations again on Coda. I will not only be watching, but I'll be rooting for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carlos.
Okay.
Eugenio Derbez, escucha, seco, marker.
It was super interesting when you guys were talking about the journey of comedic actors or artists and going into like drama. It reminded me of like how Margaret Cho was saying like she used comedy to kind of control conversations, maybe to like suppress certain emotions, and comedians maybe like Jim Carrey that are going into like more dramatic roles, maybe they're utilizing that type of art form and what they know about conversation into how to really like express those emotions through those characters.
Two things. I loved that he was honest about how wrenching it was to go from star status in Mexico to nobody in the United States, and how surprised he was how much it affected him. And the second thing was how honest he was about how there's nowhere to go to learn how to be a parent, and that's so true. Parenting is really hard, and there's no school or manual for it. I like it when people talk about it honestly.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed Eugenio Derbez. What a good guy. Love his energy. Love that he took a chance to move from dramatic acting to comedy and found his place. And love that he was willing to take another chance, come to a new land, and make some magic happen. Can't wait to see Coda. All right, listen, now as promised, it's time for another highlight from our latest Real Talk, Real Change special, which of course we produce in collaboration with our friends at Chevrolet. Now listen, if you haven't seen any of these specials, do yourself a favor, check them out. Some of the most important real and raw conversations on some of the most important issues involving systemic racism found in America's most prized ideals. I'm talking the American dream, healthcare, and now our education system. Take a look.
We don't know what our kids are capable of because their education sometimes is so limiting, particularly in Black and brown classrooms. There's always an emphasis to me on body control. You can go into a very affluent white classroom and the kids are moving around the room and talking and there's lots of activity, and you assume that something magical is happening. You go into a Black classroom and the kids are moving around and interacting with each other, and it's perceived very differently, right? Immediately someone thinks that teacher doesn't have classroom management skills. But I think it's also kind of limiting what we allow our kids to have access to. And we want to invite students to tell us, what are you curious about? If you have a hook and a kid is really excited about a particular subject or some sort of content, lean into the things that they do well so they build the confidence they need as students to tackle the things that are a little more challenging.
Shockingly, 14 million students are in schools with police, but no counselor, nurse, psychologist, or social worker. And 2 out of every 5 students say they feel unsafe with police officers in school, which begs the question, who are they protecting?
It would be a better country for all of us if Black children and white children got equal educations and had equal opportunities.
So what has the last year done? Because there were more conversations about race than I remember in my life during the Black Lives Matter protests. Has that changed in your experience?
I think in some ways, obviously it's better because of awareness, and especially with social media, you know, it has its flaws, but it's bringing things to like more attention to important issues. But for me, it kind of feels like it's worse because now I feel like any of my white friends or people at work, they're walking around eggshells around me because they're afraid that anything they're gonna say is offensive. Or when I say, hey, like this is actually a microaggression, or this feels kind of ignorant, like I'm trying to let you know, it's instantly, instead of, hey, I apologize that I did those things and here's how I'm going to change. Now it's like defending, I'm not racist, I'm not like this, I'm not like this and this and that. It almost seems like they feel like the finger is pointed at them and everybody's walking around eggshells and can't have that conversation because they're so afraid to be called out for something negative.
Hey, that was a highlight from our Real Talk, Real Change special. If you want to enjoy the whole thing, it's out there, so be sure to visit the Carlos Watson Show YouTube channel for more. As always, our thanks to our good friends at Chevrolet. Love the work that we're doing together. All right, listen, while we're saying thanks, we want to say thanks to all of you for tuning in. Be safe, be well. We got more good stuff ahead.